everyone.
I'm back, baby.
It's Jake Ciely.
I'm great. Everybody else sucks.
Oh,
no. It's every nightmare I've ever had.
Excuse me?
It's time to check the link.
Pretty crazy, huh? But it doesn't matter because none of this has anything to do with the show.
You know what? You just made the list.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
It's all in football.
Sure, we talk about it all the time. Really? No.
What is up, you Ducks? Hopefully playoff bound Ducks. It is week 15. We are playoffs finally because we are the 1 week behind. This normally would have been week 14 playoffs, and now we're talking week 15, mostly playoffs for everybody. There might be some still 10-teamers out there and all that type of stuff, but we'll help you get into the playoffs. Yes, another week. And also don't forget, Saturday games this week. So we're heading into all that. It's all in football with myself and Stepmom Lauren, as always. If you're not following her at Stepmom Lauren and stepmomlauren.com, do not type in Stepmom Lauren and not go to the dip.com. We haven't talked about that in a while. But
not safe for work.
Code all in. No, yeah. Code all in, 20% off at the FTN. And what else? Theathletic.com/BetsTV. Got all that stuff out of the way. All capitals and the Best TV gets your first free month. All that stuff. Because Lauren, we were talking before the show, and I want to address this right off the top because this is good. Your league has a kerfuffle going on as you head into the playoffs, because what had been is, if I understand correctly, years past, the 1 and 2 highest record score, whatever it is, like most leagues, those are the buys. Your league screwed things up, and the 1 and the 2 are actually the top team in the 2 brackets, which aren't the top 2 teams overall. So now there's a kerfuffle.
There is a kerfuffle. It's a mess. And the reason why this is even a mess is because the person who is in first place in one division, we actually have a tied record. So, but I have like 200 more points than they do. So technically I should be the number 2 if we're going by points for. But the problem is now we are literally in week 15 and nobody knew to look at this prior to, because it's never been done this way before. So I noticed it obviously because I was expecting a first round bye. And I did not get it. And I'm very confused. And then I went and looked at it and was like, oh my goodness. So hopefully
that's
the
what we're here
will be
for.
Cool.
Yeah,
hopefully they'll change it.
I'm wearing my teacher t-shirt. It is actually the blue shell teacher teaching the red and the green shell how the shells work in Mario Kart.
Aww,
This is what this is.
I love that. How cute. I'm representing. I'm representing
the Battlehawks. I know it's the best logo they have.
St. Louis Battlehawks.
So a couple things here I'll address in different ways. So please, out there, I've mentioned this time before, please, doubleheaders and 6th place or the final seed goes to the highest scoring team that didn't make the playoffs. So the top whatever teams in the final, because score should matter to a degree. Head-to-head matchups are fluky, and that's where I was going to go second is tiebreakers for the playoffs should be, as you just said, points scored. Head-to-heads, this isn't the real NFL. This isn't real life. You're not facing your division opponents twice. You don't face every single team in your league twice. And there's just, as you see, the luck of fantasy football, why points for that final seed is I might face you one time this year, Lauren, and you beat me 160 to 150, and the average score in our league is 120. So most any given week might have beaten. The head-to-head for tiebreaker, never been a fan of that. So just points and doubleheaders, all that type of stuff. And like you have, divisions are meaningless too for that very reason. This isn't real life as well. It's like winning your division. So again, you can play however you want. If you sit there and you're like, no, Jake, you're stupid. I like it this way. Play that way. I'm just telling you how I play. And then the final part of that, what you said, Lauren, is we had somebody in one of my leagues, 18 billion leagues like you're in, who said the same thing. It's like, hey, we're about to head the playoffs. Our tiebreaker should probably be head-to-head, shouldn't it? And we had that whole debate. But point being, if you waited till this point and made the change, it should just be whatever it used to be. Like, you cannot change it. Like, if you had played 2 years of points being the tiebreaker and you do want to change it to head-to-head, you change it for 2022. You don't change it now because somebody somewhere, as you mentioned, has a stake in this game here and is going to vote a certain way because it matters to them.
Exactly. But the thing is, the person who has that first round bye, who technically shouldn't, based on how we used to score in the league, he's a very cool dude. So I'm pretty sure he'll understand. And if he sees it, he's like, how did I get the bye? So it'll be one of those situations, knock on wood. So that's what I'm going to have to take care of But I know, but this is actually a good combination of jerk faces to actually cool people. So,
okay.
it's what I'm just kidding. It's a great league. I do enjoy it. It's a money league too. So there's more at stake here than just, the competition aspect of it. So we'll see. We'll see how it
Speaking
goes.
of being,
fingers
random
crossed.
sidebar. Speaking of things being at stake here, I don't know. You haven't said anything. I don't know if you noticed that Kyler Murray is now up behind me instead of Kyler Murray.
I know. I
autographed
did.
Instead of Tyler Heineke. So autograph Kyler Murray, who has a kind of game for the, really kind of a kind of game. Also, the reflection is killing it. I didn't realize there's a kind of block it so you could a signed mini helmet of Austin Eckler, who is potentially hurt. Like I'm just killing everybody.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I told Mimi yesterday.
I think it's my fault. I think I put this onto you.
No. You have to get on my level. Come on.
Okay, rare.
I was about to do like a friendly hun there, but then I was going to that sounds misogynistic to say hun. So I was like,
you need to get on my level, hun. Oh my gosh, I would cut you through the virtual StreamYard link we have here.
No, there's actually the ICCU, which is the I Ciely curse you, a play on ICU because of how bad things are.
Okay.
So yes. So yes, Jiggles, this is a shirt from Woot. That is actually where I got it from. I think Woot was through Amazon now, but yes, this is where I got it from. I got this one and then a Mandalorian one, which is the Snoopy Mandalorian instead. But let's dive into the waivers.
I like it.
Have I not worn that one yet? I guess
I don't think I've seen that one. Mm-mm.
I mean, it's 50 t-shirts I got to get through in the season, so.
I don't have enough t-shirts to keep up with you, so I'm just recycling as I go. I'm like, here's the football
we haven't seen
one.
the
I'll
Battle
throw that
Hawks one yet.
I know that is new, not new to me, but new to the show. And I was gonna wear it last week, but then the Lions won, so I had to represent the Lions. But Taylor Heineke, almost a comeback win there. It was kind of close,
almost.
but St. Louis, this is our connection here with Taylor Heineke, and not Tyler Haneke. It's Taylor Heineke.
He's not. Oh, geez, please, thank you. I mean,
You're welcome.
I went to Odie. So he's not.
You
he
say
hasn't left the
Taylor.
room.
You say Tyler Haneke all the time. I've noticed that.
Whatever. So he's not gone. He's somewhere in here. No, not tacky Christmas. First of all, I already had my ugly Christmas sweater ready and prepped to go. It is next week. Holy crap! Yes, next week is wear yours, Lauren. I have an ugly Christmas sweater.
I have 3. Which one should I wear?
The best one.
Okay.
That's like somebody when they come to my rankings column, they're like, "Who should I start?" The person I rank the highest. Which one should you wear? The best one.
I know which one I'm gonna wear.
Okay.
It's salty, so it's good.
It is salty. So we do have one question I want to jump in before we jump into the waivers from Thunder.
My boy.
Brett Thunderstruck.
I was very curious as to what you were doing. I was like, is he okay?
You picked it up by the second part, though.
I did.
You did.
When you did,
then
I know what it is. Hi, Brett.
Is Herbert still a good stash with Damian Williams getting more touches last week? It was a small sample, and you are correct. It was a very small sample, but the snaps were also a small sample, but even more so. They actually had the same amount of rushing snaps, but Damian Williams had the passing down snaps. So where I say before, it looked like they had settled in as Herbert as the clear backup. If something happens to David Montgomery, I think it's now a timeshare. So yes, I wouldn't let Herbert go because it still would be a timeshare.
Right.
But he's not as valuable as a Sony Michel, obviously. But let's just even say like a Devonta Booker, Samaje Perine, like the ones that are more clear, you can make the swap, or if you need help at wide receiver. So you're shaking your head, yes. So I believe that you agree.
I do agree. What was going through my head as you were saying this was, speaking of the timeshares, the situation that we have with the Chargers when it comes to Austin Eckler. Yeah, and then what else came into my head is I think it might take us less time to actually say who does not have COVID or has been tested for COVID or is a close contact to COVID, as it will to say who has been.
So, you know what? Sidebar real quick. Another league thing. So
yes!
this is no. This is good this is for everybody. So last year with the COVID situation, I suggested on the shows and the podcast, I said, have a contingency plan because last year is different than this year's COVID. Last year's COVID was he might be out. We were getting a lot of those. We were getting a lot of Thursday, he might have COVID. And then Sunday rolls it around and it's like, he is out. And so last year, what I suggested for everybody is what we did in my home league is we had contingency plans. As you said, all right, if CeeDee Lamb is out Sunday, I would play Jacoby Myers only if he's out. And so you announce beforehand, like, this is my fill-in option in case something happens. This year's different. We just saw it last night with Tyler Higbee. Nobody knew till the day of, and waivers are done. There's, I don't know, one site that lets you do waivers on Monday. I mean, unless you change the settings. So I'm interested to see if you agree with these thoughts. There's nothing you could really do even with bench option at that point because waivers have run, so you can't make a waiver on Monday. If you take bench options as the next man up, you might not even have a backup tight end. So what I proposed for my home league, just in case, because there's nothing we can do at this point. There's nothing you can do if Monday rolls around and a guy that's like, let's say it's a Dak Prescott or Justin Jefferson or, somebody of that level. So what I said is the average score for that position, which is running back 36, wide receiver 48, tight end 16, and QB 16. That was just a proposal I threw out to get kind of like your ideas. It's basically about 6 or 7 points for a flex position and then about 14, 15 for the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair, considering this is not like it's injury related, where it's like, oh, one of our in my
you
home
should have
league,
known, right?
Yeah, exactly. In one of my home leagues, it was like, oh, if the starting quarterback goes down and you roster the backup, you should automatically get the backup's points, even if he's on your bench.
No.
Like but COVID is a completely different situation. We're not talking injury here. But one of the things that I have in several of my leagues is free agency. So after waivers have passed, then players who have actually gone through at least one waiver wire cycle and have not been picked up, they are in free agency.
First come, first serve.
Exactly. So if you run into that situation.
Yeah, but does that work on Monday?
Yeah. Yeah, you can pick up players on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, Monday morning, as long as it's before the game starts. I mean, I'd have to double check because I've never really been in that situation, but I've been in situations on Sunday morning where I've needed to go run to the waiver wire and pick somebody up Sunday morning, and it's free agent or waiver claims, but they don't process until later. But yeah, you can pick somebody up on the free agency. But
So
I like that rule with this
yeah,
COVID thing that we
I
have.
would say that would be in a situation if you can in your league, or maybe just allow it. Just say, hey, we're letting blah 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 pick up a tight end for the Rams.
And it's fair, that's fair because I mean, who and what really stinks about that situation is that he had a positive test and then he took 2 more that were both negative. Like, it was a false positive, so they get the PCR test, which won't come back until today. So poor Tyler Higbee's out there. I mean, oh, what a crappy situation. I don't even want to imagine how frustrated those 2 were. I mean, that's just gotta stink. And Jalen Ramsey just went back on a private jet back to LA. He's like, fine, peace, I'm out.
See you guys later.
Yeah, he did.
At least it was a private jet. So
Hey,
in case
it
he
had
was
to be.
truly positive.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's get to waivers.
Let's get to waivers.
Sorry, Lee. Yes. Actually, no, Phil was the one. He was up 55 and faced Adams and Connor. Yes, that was not a good
Oh,
situation
God.
for you.
Yeah, I faced Connor.
That was another one. I mean, that has nothing to do. This is just rankings on the side. I had Connor as a high-end, like a mid-high RB2, expecting Edmonds to be activated because their report was like, oh, he should probably return. And then doesn't, and that changed, and Connor went ballistic, which was wonderful.
And what I thought was hilarious is the color commentators, like during the game, they're like, they're doing a really good job of holding James Conner. I'm like, what game are you watching? No, they're not. Oh, as like
Did you happen to notice?
My opponent just keeps climbing up and up and up and up.
Did you happen to notice when he mentioned the fact that like the Steelers didn't do a great job of throwing to James Conner? Like, did you not watch the one healthy season? Like that's just never been an issue of talent with James Conner.
Yeah, it's availability.
Health.
Yeah.
We're like this surprised by I should have got a James Conner jersey. I don't know if they would have had any on sale. Anyway, sidebar.
Pristine auction.
That's where I got the Murray jersey from.
Great site.
And the one behind here, which I didn't say who, I said who it was before what I mentioned with Meanie. You don't get to see it because this is in the way, but hopefully my dog's name doesn't get hurt as well.
Oh,
who's behind
good
He's
job.
Hey, 1 out of 3. Austin Eckler had a good game, might be hurt. Kyler Murray has a meh game, and he finally scored. So it's kind of a balance.
It did occur to me, one quick thing before we finally go into waivers. So do you remember when Alvin Kamara got hurt?
No. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. Well, the week that he got hurt,
no.
I received this in the mail.
Oh.
I signed Alvin Kamara jersey, and then he got hurt. It's like, I'm
Wow.
cursed. It's official. Special shout out to Josh Hudson for that.
everybody's saying they missed the playoffs and stuff like that. I said this yesterday with Meanie. Well, I want to make sure, in case anybody tunes in only for you, Lauren, and not for Meanie. Sorry, Meanie, but yeah, you might not have the same viewership here. Is a reminder from what I said yesterday, have the consolation bracket mean something. If you still play Snake and not Auction, the winner of the consolation bracket gets to pick where they draft next year. So if they want the 7th pick, whatever.
Like that.
Let that, and then number 2, and then it descending order. So then this person in second place gets to pick their spot, and third place picks their spot. And by the time you get to the person who won the league, they get the last choice. They get the final spot. That's another way to kind of adjust for next year versus just going reverse standings. As another way to mix it up. I'm still trying to brainstorm how to do it for Auction to make the consolation bracket, because you don't want to give them more auction dollars, because then, it's
it
kind
depends
of
on how serious. It depends on how serious the league is, though. Because if it's a casual league, really having an incentive for next year may just not be enough instant gratification for caring enough. They'll care at the time, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I would have done that." Whatever. Oh well. I say have some kind of a gift card, or have a gift that the winner gets, some kind of an immediate incentive. What? I
said, you don't deserve a gift for sucking.
Well, then isn't it a gift to be able to pick out where you're drafting
Yeah, but that's
from?
that's your first pick. That could still go sideways. The gift card is legitimate real money. The money can't go sideways.
But yeah, but it gives people oh my gosh, whatever. I think gifts are great.
I'll give you a Chick-fil-A gift card for a free meal. How about that?
Perfect. Trust me, people in my league would use it.
$7-8, something like that.
Perfect. Doesn't even have to be a full 10. Whatever.
Let's play a little game. Speaking of, for this week, at this point now, Lauren, Lamar Jackson kind of brought this up with Meanie yesterday. He's been playing poorly, and now he's banged up. Sounds like he should play, but this is where I'm going with this. Dak Prescott has been playing poorly. Patrick Mahomes had a bounce-back game-ish. It's also the only 2 games he's had in the past 6 have been against the Raiders. So these aren't the only names, but I wanted to play a little game of Taysom Hill or with stepmom Lauren. So for week 15, you are headed into your playoffs, first round, or potentially just trying to get into your playoffs. Do you play Taysom Hill, or let's start at the top. Do you start Patrick Mahomes or Taysom Hill?
Who are the Chiefs playing again?
Thursday night, Chargers.
Oh, the Chargers. Oh.
Chargers. Go Chargers, go.
I think I would play Patrick Mahomes, but I don't like it. Because I love Taysom Hill. I would go Patrick Mahomes there.
Okay. Would you go Taysom Hill or Kyler Murray against Detroit?
Oh, Kyler Murray. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, look, I'm just throwing out other names. Thank you, Jiggles. Yes, we kind of, technically, we kind of are. We are making a list. There you go. So there you go.
I love making lists.
There you go. How about this one? Taysom Hill, or who has scored 17 points in most of his recent games, coming off a bye facing the Jets. Taysom Hill or Tua Tagovailoa. And no, I'm not saying Tagovailoa. I don't believe you, Tua. It is Tagovailoa. Anyway, go ahead.
Taysom Hill.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Taysom Hill or Dak Prescott against the Giants?
Taysom Hill.
I don't know if I could go that far. Taysom
See,
Hill
I
or
like the
Jalen
rushing
Hurts?
upside.
Okay, continue.
So that's actually a good one. For me, that is a huge toss-up between Jalen Hurts and Taysom Hill. I think I'm still going to lean Taysom Hill there, but that is very, very difficult to play Taysom Hill over Jalen Hurts. I just love Taysom Hill, so that might be a little bit more biased on my thing, but I like the rushing upside that he has. Now, with the Dolphins, it's a very interesting situation. As we mentioned earlier in the show, COVID has been just completely crushing teams, and one of them is the Dolphins, and they have no
they
running
don't have
backs.
a running back right now.
Oh, Duke Johnson. Okay. We're talking about Duke Johnson.
On the active roster, so Duke Johnson and Malcolm Brown are not technically on the one. Malcolm
They're on
Brown
the practice
hurt.
squad.
Yeah, Duke Johnson practice squad. As of right now, they legitimately don't have a running back.
They literally don't have a running back. That concerns me. So I think there's going to be a lot of passing, especially with Devontae Parker there in the mix. So defenses are going to be scheming against Tua running, and they're also going to be focusing, I believe, on Jalen Waddle, possibly a little bit here on Gesicki. So that leaves opportunity for Devontae Parker. There's going to be a lot of throwing there. So that also leaves room for interception. Does not show me that there's going to be a lot of rushing upside from Tua because there's so many limited opportunities for him. So I will take the rushing upside of Taysom Hill as well as healthier players that he has around him.
I think you just made a lot of arguments of why I would go Tua. So, interesting. Let's
do you.
continue. I've got a lot of this scenario. Joe Burrow in Denver or Taysom Hill.
Oh, I love Joe Burrow, but I think I would still play Taysom Hill. I like the floor.
How about, well, the floor, what if he doesn't run for a touchdown? That floor could get ugly. Floor could be
that's
lava.
true.
And the jump on
Lava.
the cushions.
Oh, yeah.
How about-
Oh, my God. Childhood, I miss you.
Russell Wilson at the Rams or Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill.
Okay. Oh, it wasn't even a second
Taysom
thought.
Hill. So as a former Rams fan, I understand how these teams play each other. I don't care who's coaching. I don't care who's playing. There is something very sinister that happens when those two play. And he could have a ginormous game or he could not. So I'm going to go with Taysom Hill on there. on that one.
2 more for you. Lamar Jackson, as I mentioned before, home.
Taysom Hill.
Okay. That's not even a second thought.
No, not even a second thought. He's hurt.
Okay. Then finally, Taysom Hill or Zach Wilson? I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh, got like
I'm glad you
an
added the just
eyelash,
kidding
like,
on that.
right in my eye. Worst time. I'm trying to blink it out and it's not working.
Oh,
just
I
pulled
had
it,
one
like,
that was curled the other way. I have really long eyelashes, and I had one that decided it wanted to curl the other way. So it kept stabbing me in the eyeball,
Nobody
and like
cares.
I couldn't find it and get it. It was the most aggravating thing in the world.
I'm sorry.
It's
You wanna move
terrible.
on?
The struggle is real. Yes.
They probably cared about it as much as I just pulled out like 6 eyelashes, which I don't know if that's
Oh,
good. I
how
might be
sad.
dying. Yes.
Oh my God.
So, let's continue. Hey, you know what? We buried a lead. Let's get to it. The very
Let's do
first
it.
comment started the show at 10:51 from Little Big Man. Before we even started the show, he's depressed. You want to know why he's depressed? You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because he didn't pick up Rashad Penny before
Oh.
Week 14 happened. He was available in all his leagues. I actually picked up Rashad Penny from some mook who dropped him and said, I was like, oh, fine. You're not going to try and ski, like what he needed a tight end. He was going to like try to skirt him through waivers or something. Like, nope.
Hey.
Rashad Penny's now on my team. Thank you very much. Rashad Penny finally happened, Lauren. It took
Finally.
17 years, 18 injury trips. It's finally happened. Rashad Penny, is he not only a must grab, is he already a must start as in top 20 running back?
Absolutely. He is a high upside RB2. He is a must grab. He is a use the rest of your fab, and he is a must start. That's what he is. Even Pete Carroll came out and said that he deserves the lead role in the backfield there. He's light years better than Alex Collins. Adrian Peterson is dealing with the back issue. Chris Carson is out, whatever. In this whole situation.
Travis Homer might return.
Oh, really? Thank you. Special teams, whatever. But I feel like I am harnessing my inner stepmom here, waiting in the kitchen, watching the clock for my teenager to come home, and it is past curfew. So when they do finally show up, I'm equal parts relieved and pissed that it took this long for them to finally show up. Like, that is the whole situation with me and Rashad Penny. Like, I lost all faith. I was going to call the cops, check the hospitals, find out, did they get arrested? What's going on? I was really, really stressed out. So now that they're here, again, equal parts relieved and also mad.
I like my comparison yesterday better. So
Good for you.
on you.
I like mine. I'm glad
that
you
was really
understood my stout versus seltzer reference this morning.
Yes. So Lauren texted me, said she was feeling a little bit under the weather. It might be a little bit more. I said, you don't have to be bubbly. And she said, I might be bubbly, but stout and not seltzer. And I'm not a big drinker, but I understood that reference, just like
there you
Captain
go.
America.
Yay.
Now, my comparison yesterday was the person that you break up with 2 or 3 times and think it's going to work like the third time, and you should just stayed broken up the very first time, and that Rashad Penny's going to break my heart again. That was my comparison yesterday.
Oh, see,
Yours
I'm
is very
married,
good
so
as
that's
well.
all. That's beyond me. I'm married with
Yeah.
kids, so mine is
Oh.
more of the maternal mom view of things as opposed to in
Well,
the
just
dating world.
Keep humble bragging. It's cool. Whatever.
I will. Yeah, and I'm very happily married too. My husband's awesome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
My life sucks. Thanks. Let's continue. Oh, Lee asked one. Justin Herbert or Taysom Hill?
Oh, Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Pull on
So-
both of my heartstrings there, Lee. Jeez.
With Herbert,
I love them both.
let's get to the Titans running backs. So, Donta Foreman leads. Dontrell Hilliard split, which was my concern last week with McNichols. So it's full-blown committee, but at least Foreman led the way. The concern, of course, we have is if the Titans fall behind, does that mean Foreman just gets eliminated and it's Hilliard and Jerry McNichols, which still doesn't really make either of them relevant, but trying to look forward, looking at Tennessee at Pittsburgh this week, if they're all 3 out there, are you going after Foreman and just hopes that stays competitive, or how would you treat this?
I think that's exactly where I'm going, but I would only play Foreman if I had to. If there were no other options, like with all this COVID stuff going on, and I would have to play him, but I do not feel really good about it. It's not one of those things that I'm excited for, that I'm looking forward to the upside. It's not. This is a warm body that could get me points and hope and pray. I mean, it's not pretty.
Let's compare it to another backfield. For the question in the chat from Sandra, Khalil Herbert or Donto Hilliard to drop, I would just drop both of them. I think there's better options to potentially chase for both those options at this point, even at wide receiver.
Yeah, that aren't committee backfield either. Yeah, I like KJ Osborne for sure. I would do the same.
And at least until Thielen is back. So the Dolphins, you mentioned them earlier. There's two scenarios here, because one of them is really clear. If Gaskin is fine, Gaskin's the play, and we're not worried about anybody. Even if every single person, the entire backfield is healthy, it's Gaskin is the guy. Even if it's 55%, we know Gaskin's the guy. But
no, he may be, quote, the guy. But does that translate to fantasy every week? No, it does not.
No, I've been frustrated by Gaskin, but it has reason. It did before the bye. It was translating quite a bit before the bye. So
take some Pepto. Make sure you got your antacids handy if you have to start Myles Gaskin.
So let me get to the question. If Gaskin can't return, and it's Malcolm Brown and Savon Ahmed and Philip Lindsay and everybody else, do you just run for the hills, or is there one that you like?
Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown is one I like. I think he'll be widely available, but he's sneaky. He's sneaky, touchdown dependent, but he finds the end zone. And Malcolm Brown is kind of one of those wily veterans that I don't ever want to discount. So if I did have to go out, I mean, I would run for the hills, but if I had to, based on my roster situation, I would go for Malcolm Brown. I know that might be a little caliente,
Malcolm
but
Brown's sneaky good. Yes, look, Corey.
He's wily.
It's week 15. It's not like there's a plethora of options on waivers at this point. This is why we're
other than
doing
Rashad
this
Penny,
show.
you are dumpster diving. Just understand this.
Okay. So speaking of dumpster diving, here we go.
Sparkle Gear,
Actually, you know what? This one isn't dumpster diving. No, this one's not, because Michael Carter might be back.
Oh yes.
And if Michael Carter's back, again, he's the guy. However, if Tevin Coleman is fine for week 15, there's two scenarios here, Lauren. Michael Carter returns and Tevin Coleman plays, which I think kind of puts this in a Broncos, but the worst version of the Broncos backfield. But it, see, look, Barkley's upset.
Barkley agrees.
She hates them as well. If Coleman plays and Carter doesn't come back, similar to Edmonds, that we thought he was, but he's not, Coleman looked good. We talked about this on this show. Coleman had burst. Would Coleman be in the flex conversation for you?
Yeah, he is. Are we talking about picking him up on waivers, or are we talking about actually starting him?
Nope,
that is amazing to me. That is amazing to me that Tevin Coleman is still available. Absolutely. In fact, even if Michael Carter is active, I still think you can get one more week out of Tevin Coleman, because I don't know if they're just going to be throwing.
Would you
Michael
play
Carter
Tevin
out there
Coleman
to
or the
wolves.
Titans running backs?
Tevin Coleman.
Really? Over all of
Yes.
them, even down at the Foreman?
Yeah, I would.
I wish we get some clarity on that. I did his name both ways, by the way. Donta and Deonta Foreman. Like, nobody seems to know for sure if you pronounce the I was gonna say, do you pronounce the apostrophe? You don't pronounce the apostrophe. Do you make that pause?
But it's in
do
there
you
for
apostrophe
a reason.
form? Do you apostrophe your ante?
Oh my God, no! Let's never do that again. But I mean, it's there for a reason, right? So there should be a pause in there. So Deonta Foreman. Right?
It should, but
some
people.
But
there was a lot of talk when he came out of college that it was actually just Donta Foreman.
Yeah, but DeAndre Swift is DeAndre Swift, even though there's an apostrophe.
But all these players don't pronounce their names exactly the same. We have 18 different versions.
How dare they have individuality?
Yes.
How dare they have individuality?
If I ever have
criminal.
what? If I ever have a dot, so you know that little key that's next to the one on your keyboard, the little squiggle thing. Do you know what that's called?
It makes an Nye in Spanish, and I will think of it in a second, but just go ahead and tell me.
I was going to say I was going to name my daughter, if I ever had one, which I won't, but I was going to name M-A, that sign, and then an A.
That's cruel. Why would you do that? Because
her name would be Matilda. It's called a tilde.
Oh, the tilde. That's right. Oh, my years of Spanish have vacated me. Bye-bye.
Go name your kid Matilda. Like 7. You can hang out with 7 from Seinfeld.
Oh my God, like the artist formerly known as Prince. Like, no, don't do that to your child.
I'm not going to have one anyway.
Stop it.
That's 18 steps down the road. There's so many things that can go before that.
Very true. Very true.
you tried to bring up the Chargers. It sounds like Eckler should be okay. But this is one where I got to be honest, Lauren. The only reason I would pick up Jackson and Jackson over Kelly, and then even maybe both of them, is only to block my opponent, and not even to block my opponent like I believe in them. It's just block my opponent on the fact that they guessed right. And because we just did this last year, it was Jackson, and then it was Kelly, and then it was Jackson, and then it was Balaj towards the end. Like I'm not messing with this backfield.
I'm picking up Justin Jackson. I do not believe that Austin Eckler is going to be okay. I think that is a big pile of steaming whatever you have over there that you can squeak for me there. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Brandon, the fact that he missed a significant amount of time in that game and Brandon Staley's like, he's fine. I mean, this is a re-aggravation of an injury. So, and they're playing on a short week on Thursday. So even if Austin Eckler is out there, he's not going to be at full capacity. And one of these two is going to get involved. So I think picking up Justin Jackson should be a priority, but not like your highest priority. But I do think whether or not you want to play defense, like you talked about before, or have the one that is more, there's a word I'm looking for here that I can't find, because he's not more trustworthy, because there's new coaching, there's new everything here. But Justin Jackson, I think, has been around the block with this team, I think, more than Josh Kelly. Justin Jackson doesn't fumble as much as Josh Kelly has. He's a veteran compared to the youth in Josh Kelly. So I think I would go after Justin Jackson, and I would have that as an insurance policy in case we get the sudden news on Thursday against the Chiefs that Austin Eckler is not as fabulous as Brandon Staley has said that he is. That worries me. Very much it worries me.
Okay. Do you know why I was kind of like semi not focused on trying to help you with that word? Because I was annoyed with the re-aggravation. It's just aggravation.
Aggravated. I know. I do that. I you know what really annoys me too is when people say irregardless. I get that too.
Do you know what the American language is like? Is the fact that they put that in the dictionary just because so many people said it.
So many people have said it.
It's actually a real word now. It was never a real word.
Now it's a word.
Freaking Merriam-Webster, whoever's in control of the words. Is there some person like sitting there is like, that's okay. I listened to Jake's show. I am making that a word. Approved word. They got so tired of people saying irregardless that they're just like, fine, irregardless is a word, even though you guys are idiots.
And when people say supposedly and not supposedly, there's
that's an episode of Friends.
So... I know but I get it. There's a lot of words in there that I cannot stand. So I'm sorry that I gave you re-aggravation. By the way, alls is not a word unless it is used with an apostrophe as a compound word with all is or all was. Alls is not a word.
Who says
really
alls?
Gets my goat. Oh my gosh. Everybody around here, anyone from Philadelphia, alls you got to do, not okay. Not okay. Drives me bonkers. All's fair in love and war is correct, but all's you got to do should be thrown in the trash and never ever spoken again.
Hot fruit. As we get away from this, I also hate when people use the name with the apostrophe S incorrectly when they'll say like Lauren's going to the movies. No, apostrophe S is possessive. It's not Lauren's is going to the movie. Like you don't put apostrophe S for is. It's not Lauren's going to the movies. It's Lauren is going to the movies. Apostrophe S is ownership. That would say you own going. Lauren's going. It doesn't work. So no. Waivers. You know what? I'm sorry, TLC. And somebody already referenced it in here. Jiggles did. I am sorry. We are chasing waterfalls because we are chasing Texans running backs because they basically don't have any. They don't have anybody left.
I know.
Rex Burkhead was last man standing, and he was a fine flex play, and he produced flex numbers. Now he's hurt, and David Johnson, because Rex Burkhead was on the COVID, assume he should come back this week. If David Johnson's back this week, Royce Freeman did a lot in the passing game, but I don't know if you saw his rushing line of robust 11 for 15. I think David Johnson's in the flex conversation.
Absolutely. By necessity. That's it. It's absolutely by necessity. And I love David Johnson. I love him dearly. But this is where we are right now. Week 15, these things happen.
You're starting David Johnson.
You're starting David Johnson in 2021. I mean, why not? We're talking about everybody else circa 2015, 16, and 17. So why not let him have a great, great, great year game?
Here,
know.
I'm gonna for a reminder for everybody out there that might not be seeing us. I'm just gonna say we're still live now, talking the validity of words. So there you
Yes.
go. That is come join us to talk about the English language. That is what
So
you turn into
great.
this wonderful show for. Brett doesn't like less versus fewer. Neither does Stannis Baratheon. He's very upset about that. So make sure you get that correct as always.
Yep, that's a tough one.
Let's talk
Cyborg
wide
Android.
Yeah, I think I brought that up. All you got to do is shut up, Jiggles. Oh, you almost made me. I almost finished the sentence too.
I know.
Reading all the way through. There is a Reynolds we have to talk about.
Another
It's
Reynolds
not-
rap.
It's not Josh.
I know.
It is Craig.
No, that's not
Reynolds.
his name. That's not his name.
Oh yeah, it's Carrig Reynolds. See, I didn't
No,
do it.
no.
Is it?
It's
Is it
it's
Craig
Netflix.
Reynolds?
It's Netflix is his name. His nickname on the team is Netflix because he was watching Netflix a week ago, sitting on his couch. I'm not
I
kidding.
thought because you. I was waiting for like the something and chill with him.
No.
Okay.
His nickname is Netflix because that's what he was
Okay.
doing like a week ago.
You're just handing out nicknames now too. So this is what we're doing in week 15.
It was
coming out with nicknames.
it was spoken to me through the TV. All right, I didn't make it up.
Leave Pat Mayo to the nicknames.
I
he's
didn't
the
give
nickname
him the nickname.
Well, then whoever did, it's terrible.
Blame the Lions. What shocking! Something terrible coming out of Detroit. Sorry,
That's
guys.
just like when Craig, what's his name? Chris Berman. When Chris Berman tried to, say chicken Friarmouth. No, it's air Friarmouth. Get it right.
Chicken. What?
He said. He said something like French Friarmouth or something. I don't know. He did something. It just wasn't good. So as you cough, hopefully you get better soon, Lauren, by the way. So
Oh, it's fine. It's Florida, so it's not like a real cold because, in the sunny state of Florida, colds don't last long. It's not like the Midwest or Northern colds where they linger for weeks. This will last for 24 hours. Then I'll feel fine by Thursday. It'll be good. But thank you.
Okay. Reynolds.
Yes.
We're still trying to get
Kai
to
Reg.
Reynolds.
Kai Reg Netflix.
Are you even worried about him? Because Jamal Williams should be back. And the report after the game was actually from the team, was from Dan Campbell, that Jamar Jefferson wasn't used much because he didn't practice the entire week, because he was coming off an injury and also had non-COVID illness. And he specifically said that when you bring up Jefferson to say that's why he didn't get touches, that makes me supremely concerned that Reynolds has any value outside of that 1 week that we just enjoyed.
I'm intrigued. If you have the space, and which is shocking at this point, but I don't hate it. I don't hate the pickup because you can probably get it for free. And the reason why is I've heard conflicting reports out of Detroit regarding DeAndre Swift. On the one hand, they're hopeful to get him back for week 15.
He's not
And
even the one I'm concerned about.
And on the other hand, he might land on IR. Okay, so if he's on IR, then we're talking about Jamal Williams, who's not dealing with injury. He is dealing with COVID, so he should be coming back for week 15. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. But there still is opportunity there to have a two-headed monster in that running back that has different identities here. Jamal Williams can finally be used in the passing game, which I think is what they should do. And Craig Reynolds might have a shot at this. I don't know, but I don't want to be missing out just in case.
Hold the phone here.
I don't
Are
have
you
a phone.
trying-
I do. Hold on, I'm holding the phone.
Are you legitimately trying to tell me that there's value in Detroit for a second running back?
Yeah, I am.
I'm
sick. Remember, don't forget.
I
I'm
was
on
gonna say,
cold
how much
medicine.
cold medicine are you on?
just Dayquil. But he played really well, and that's what was so shocking about it is this team needs explosiveness, right? And they're not playing for anything at this point other than pride. So, pride of Lions. Hey, so I think it wouldn't be far-fetched to me, and it wouldn't be that ridiculous to see something like this happen. And I don't want to miss out on it, and I don't want to be in that situation where I'm desperate for a running back. And, there's the opportunity here who are the Lions playing, by the way?
It doesn't matter
because
I'm telling you, as long as Jamal's back, it doesn't really.
I just said
Arizona at home.
intrigued, not go out and pay a ton of money for him, but I'm intrigued. Maybe
I think
not
somebody's
necessarily.
going to. You know why?
Yeah, why not?
Well, no, it's not. No, somebody will pay money. It's because not only did he have that game, it was because Adam Schefter tweeted before the game that he picked him up and he saw him similar to Elijah Mitchell at the beginning of the season, that he could be the guy. So, yeah. So I think that you're going to have somebody that might blow a significant chunk of their budget or their top
Then
winning
good.
priority.
Good for them.
So there you go. Right. So let's talk about his teammates. I want to see if you're going to triple down. I would have led these guys to rest, but they're still not even 40% rostered. It took 13 weeks to get here, and we've been talking about them for now the third week in a row, Lauren. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Reynolds produce again. More so, St. Brown really is getting, he's on the, basically Hunter Renfrow level of targets at this point?
12 targets this week.
Are you, here's how I want you to answer the question, Lauren.
Okay.
I want you to say, I am 100, this is your response. This is the only response you can say. I am 100% confident in Amon-Ra St. Brown having fantasy value the rest of the season.
I am 100% confident in Amon-Ra St. Brown having fantasy value for the rest of the season.
Let's check the tape from week 6 or whatever it was. Like, don't ever ask me about the Detroit Lions wide receiver.
I know. I have changed my mind. I have changed my tune on it, which I'm allowed to do. Only because they have shown
Texans
it to me, and this isn't so much like a hope and a prayer here. I mean, it is for them, which is why they're trying and they're fighting. They haven't given up. So I believe in the opportunity that's in it. And if you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, he is worthy of a flex start or your wide receiver 3 start. It's the Lions. So it's nothing that I really want to get always super duper excited about, but there's always going to be the opportunity for the wide receivers
you're like halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
No, you got where it was going.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's officially been too many shows together for the fact that
I know it has officially been.
With that.
But yeah, I do. I actually have him in a couple of my different waiver columns and videos as well as Amon-Ra St. Brown, hair over Josh Reynolds, simply because, just like you said, he's like the Hunter Renfrow of the Lions.
Would you go St. Brown or Russell Gage?
Ooh. St. Brown. No, Russell Gage.
Your gut was right. Go with the first. Go with your gut. Always go with your gut.
It's
like when you're doing the multiple choice answers in school. Always go.
Yeah, don't second guess.
Answer.
Yeah, then St. Brown for sure.
Yes,
I guess.
As mentioned, Brett also points out they face Atlanta next week, which is on top of that. So yeah, good.
It's actually great. It's great for both of them.
It's very good schedules. Yeah, that's true. So let me ask you another one. If and only if, Lauren, and this is why, and you'll see why, this is if and only if, and everybody listening will see the same thing. If and only if DJ Moore doesn't play, will you? No. All right. I would play Robbie Anderson as a wide receiver 4 if DJ Moore's out.
I guess.
Because, hold on, let me clarify this. People often do this. The volume is king. Thank you, Mr. Nice Guy. They say that all the time. And people fall into the trap and they're like, who else is going to run the ball? Who else is going to catch passes? Blah, blah, blah. Like that's a very common mistake people make. Proof being Rex Burkhead. That was his ceiling, was an RB3. We did it weeks ago trying to chase, and whatever it was like 13 for 27 or whatever. The Tony Jones game when it was 14 for 20, whatever it was. Who's going to run the ball? Tony Jones. Still sucks because he's not very good. Wide receiver, same thing. You could get 10 targets, but if your quarterback stinks, the offense stinks, and you're not as good at it. Like, here's the perfect one. The Tennessee Titans. Who's going to catch the ball? Westbrook-Akina, Des Fitzpatrick. Didn't matter because there wasn't even volume. Their leading receivers were tight ends. So I'm saying all that to say it's not the same with this because we've seen Robbie Anderson. We also know Robbie Anderson with this offense and Robbie Anderson with Cam Newton. So I think this is different where you can say, because there is no DJ Moore, who else is going to catch the ball?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
We've clarified and said St. Brown over him, but you wouldn't say Robbie Anderson as a wide receiver 4?
No, I mean, I guess if I had to, but like, no.
All right, then here, okay, we'll finish the show with this. We'll make another list. We'll do it.
I love lists. You don't understand. It helps my ADD and anxiety. So I'm all about this. Let's go.
Okay. Then let's say people. Amon-Ra, Cyrus, and Obelisk, a Yu-Gi-Oh reference in the freaking chat, and I know that's a Yu-Gi-Oh. Unless you're got, I mean, I don't know if those are the real gods. Maybe that's what it is. I'm the idiot and I'm the nerd talking about it being a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Maybe we'll find out in the chat here in a second. So anyway, let's play Robbie Anderson versus AJ Green.
AJ Green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because of the matchup or because you really like AJ Green?
Because of Kyler Murray. So I'm going to play AJ Green.
It was a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Yeah.
Woo! Go team.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh. I actually watched that. And I actually played the game. So
And you
I didn't play
don't
the
have a girlfriend?
no, this was years ago too. I played the card game in the store while we had downtime because I worked at a Game Crazy where we were supposed to engage the customers and we actually had games.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Play with it. Yeah, so when
I mean,
we were bored, we busted out some Yu-Gi-Oh decks.
Dude, I used to play Magic the Gathering religiously, so I get it. I'm a red deck girl.
I don't know what that means.
Wow. You lost some nerd points.
I lost. I have plenty to give. Look behind me. I think we're good. Robbie Anderson or Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Oh, Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Okay. How about, let's say either Keenan Allen or Mike Williams doesn't play.
Okay.
Because Keenan Allen should
Jalen Guyton over Robbie Anderson.
What about Joshua Palmer, who is actually out there more than Jalen Guyton?
Robbie Anderson.
Really? Over Joshua Palmer?
Yes.
Does it depend on which Chargers wide receiver is out, or is that just a blanket statement?
Just a blanket statement, because in that particular scenario, I believe that Robbie Anderson can do more with fewer targets. That's kind of where I was gauging this.
Gotcha.
So Robbie Anderson doesn't necessarily need the volume, just like you were saying. He can get it done on fewer, but I have less faith in Cam Newton making that happen as opposed to some of these other quarterbacks. Now, the big playability guy for me with the Chargers is going to be Jalen Guyton if those two were gone. So if we're going to compare apples to apples in that kind of a situation, I'm going to go Jalen Guyton over Robbie Anderson. But if we're talking the need for a big play but high risk, this is going to be Robbie Anderson in that situation.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing.
Why are you laughing?
I was laughing at the chat because all they're focused on is when we say names now. They're not even listening to the advice because we've gone so far down the grammar and names route that like nobody's even paying attention to the rest of the show.
So did I do something wrong? Please let me know.
No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with you. Was it like Jaquizinal Tart or whatever that guy is from that whole sketch with Key and Pell? Like back
I
in the
haven't
day.
seen that one.
You haven't seen the Key and Pell sketch where they do like the pre-games, like they do on Monday Night Football where the guys come up, they say their name.
Yeah.
You never seen that? Junior,
Yes,
juniors, junior.
That was a while ago. Oh my God. No,
Yeah.
that in one ear and out the other. I don't think I need to go back
That
and
was
watch
one
that.
of the best
then.
ones. The one where he just makes a noise.
Don't make me laugh. I'm going to
That
cough.
was one of the best sketches of all time.
I need to go back and watch it then.
Oh, I think I watched it at least a couple times a year. For everybody asking, by the way, mine wasn't like a Dark Magician or a Blue Eyes deck or a Gods deck. It was actually a very counter deck. I had a lot of counter trap spells and monsters, activation monsters for everybody that's asking and having this conversation.
Well, see, Magic the Gathering isn't that different. So I was red deck, so I constantly did like the attack, and I just tried to kill my opponent before I could actually get my life down too
That
far
feels very
because
on
I could
brand.
never heal myself. Yeah, it is.
Very
It's so on brand.
So Robbie Anderson versus any of the Pats receivers: Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar.
I would play Kendrick Bourne over Robbie Anderson, but I would do Robbie Anderson over Jacoby Myers and Nelson Aguilar.
Okay. Last one. And for everybody out there, I am officially giving up on Sterling Shepard. I am sorry, but
I know. Isn't it sad? Should we have like a Viking funeral?
He didn't even get his opportunity until the third quarter because one, they're force feeding Kenny Golladay, which isn't going to work in this offense, and it's not going to work with Mike Glennon's the quarterback, and Mike Glennon's not going to be the quarterback. If Daniel Jones, this was the whole entire reason. I didn't see the Daniel Jones thing happening.
Yeah.
I wanted Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard back together.
I'm surprised Mike Glennon doesn't have better vision with as long as his neck is. It's like a telescoping submarine. You know, it's like he's like the Loch Ness Monster out there. He should be able to like swivel and like see things, and he doesn't. Sad.
So any Giants wide receiver or Robbie Anderson?
Robbie Anderson.
There you go. And there goes Stepmom Lauren at Stepmom Lauren at stepmomlauren.com, which I said at twice. It's technically two different things, but it sounds exactly the same. FTN code all in gets you 20% off theathletic.com. All capitals after the slash for BetsTV gets you the first free month. And we'll be back tomorrow to talk week 15 ranks with Jeff Ratcliffe, the number 1 and number 2 ranker in all the worlds and lands and universes. So you can't get a more accurate show than you're watching on this network. BetsTV on the channel, on the YouTube. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, review, and leave some Yu-Gi-Oh comments. That'll be fun. I think. Goodbye.